Good morning, good morning. Last day of practice here for our Winneconne Angler's Choice. Me and Tim just dumped the boat in, parking the truck. We're gonna have to get after it today. Didn't really find anything out on Winnebago. I didn't take you along for our session on Friday that I was out. I fished for long enough that I should have caught something. The same thing as before. Walleye, sheephead, and white bass. So we're up on the upper lakes. We're gonna give it a shot. We'll see what happens. You ready to get after it?
Ready.
Let's do it. Got something. Thinking it's a drum. Big old flathead. Oh yeah, look at the size of that sucker. And he choked it. Kitty. Ah! Got one. Finally. First time I've ever caught a largemouth. Oh. You can guess what that is.
Oh, you got one too?
You got one?
Yeah, I landed right on top.
Alright.
Double.
We're on to something.
We got a double.
We're on to something.
They're both the same size. They're brothers.
Midday update. We've got 4 bass. Actual bass. Not white bass, but largemouth bass. And a little smallmouth that was about that big. We decided to come up the river. Did a little bit of research, knew that there was some slow no wakes being enforced, but we didn't know it was basically the whole Wolf River from Orohula to the north. So we got up here, idled a little bit, fished one spot, caught nothing. Now we're heading back down to Huygen and Winneconne, see if we can find something else. Just because on tournament day we're not gonna drive up here and idle to the north, and we don't want to do it today because, well, we already launched in Winneconne. We're gonna have to idle at least another hour from here up north to just get to Fremont. Yeah, I know if the fish are there, it would be great. Not a lot of other people would do it, but we're trying to make the most of our time and see if we can find something a little bit closer. So we're heading back down. We'll see what happens when we get there. You excited yet? Yeah. Good morning. It is tournament morning here in Winneconne. I know I didn't do a wrap up for our practice session on Friday, but we found some fish, caught a couple. Still really tough everywhere. It seemed like the fish were pretty scattered all over the place. So we're gonna run around. We're gonna put 5 in the boat. Got a little bit of a trek this morning. Make a big move. It's gonna take us a long time to get there, but it's really the only thing that I have confidence in, and it's the only place that we found fish somewhat grouped up and a little more predictable. So we're gonna run and do that. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to film, sadly, because it is supposed to rain all day long. So I'll have the camera out when I can. I'll try to take some video of, you know, whatever I can, but we're fishing mainly moving baits. And we'll try some other stuff, but these fish seem pretty key in on bait fish more than anything else. Just because of the time of the year, water temperature is still in the 70s in some spots, high 60s in some others, which is very, like, not really normal for September in Wisconsin, but especially the end of September. But it's been 70 degrees, you know, all week. So yeah, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna try and make something happen here. I'll take you guys along and I'll film when I can, but about to launch, get the flip out of here, get this tournament going. We are like one of the first 3 boats here, which is the way that I like it. But yeah,
I just casted there 2 times too.
Oh, I can tell you it wasn't a bass. Whole freaking thing gone.
Well, we'll see how hungry he was, and maybe I can get your bait back.
Yeah.
You were getting my...
We've got a fish full of trouble, bud. Oh. I don't know what that was. Oh, man.
Jerk fish.
Pretty uneventful morning as far as that goes, all the way up until around noon, because that's when we decided to make a pretty big move. We were catching walleyes and pike pretty much at will almost everywhere we went, and just not putting any bass in the boat, so we decided to make a move. What do? You go to where you caught fish in practice. That's what we did, and we got to that spot around 1 o'clock, put our first fish in the boat within 3 casts of getting there. It was just one of those deals. We thought we'd be able to expand on that pattern, working our way up the river. We idled about an hour further than the slow no wake start, and we just weren't able to put them together. We had a couple blow-ups from smallmouth and a couple bites. We caught some pike and some walleye, but we just weren't able to really expand all that much on what we found in practice. So we ended up going back to where we were, and like I said, 3 casts, we had our first fish in the boat. We stuck it out between that spot and the other spot that we found. We were pretty close to each other. We stuck it out there for around 45 minutes, put together a small limit, and we're talking like 10 pounds. And we stayed there a little bit longer just to try and figure out if we could catch some bigger ones, try to do some different stuff with some different lures. And we were still catching a bunch of fish, but they were all cookie cutters to the one we had in the live well. I mean, we weren't upgrading ounces, and we needed to upgrade a lot more than just ounces. So stuck it out there for a bit, then went back down to the lake. It was around 2 o'clock when we made a move to our last spot, and we called out 2 fish because the wind was pushing in on this one spot, and I just figured like they have to be here. There's got to be some fish here, and there were. We ended up in 28th place with 11.87. We did not qualify for the championship on Chickamauga, which is pretty disappointing, but you win some, you lose some. We had a lot of fun doing it. The season was a good time overall too. I'm looking to bring you guys along a lot more throughout the whole season next year, not just when it comes down to crunch time where I got to do really well in one event to make it to the championship. Let's talk a little bit about techniques, what we were doing. We're fishing in current, so we were using a lot of moving baits. We were using square bill crankbaits, swim baits, and Tim was throwing a chatterbait. Just try and change it up, give them a little bit of variety, and hopefully they would just munch on that too. One of the big players that we had was this Rapala BXB6. It's the balsa crankbait with the copolymer shell, so you can bounce it off of rocks and woods, rip it through weeds. You don't have to worry about the lip breaking off or the balsa getting cracked or anything like that. At least we caught a lot of fish on that little bait, and it's in the silver minnow color. They were really keyed in on bait fish, so we tried some crawfish pattern stuff. We caught a couple, but it just seemed like more of them wanted the bait fish stuff. And I was obviously catching pike, and anything with teeth, you lose a couple of them, so I ended up just throwing whatever square bill I had that looked like a minnow. And I caught a couple on, Strike King, Lucky Craft, and bouncing off of the rocks and stuff like that. That's a LC 1.5, caught a couple fish on that too. And then I was throwing it on a 6.6 square bill Sniper Quantum cranking rod with the Quantum Smoke S3 in a 6.1 gear ratio with 17-pound Seaguar Braised X fluorocarbon. When it comes to throwing square bills, I like to throw a little bit heavier line just because I'm always throwing around cover. And even when I'm not throwing around cover, I'm fishing square bills over the tops of weeds, so I like something to keep that bait up, not digging down into those weeds. Otherwise, you're ripping it out. Yeah, you'll get some strikes, some reaction strikes doing that, but I want to keep the bait moving, and I want to pause it when I want to pause it. And then if it gets stuck in a weed, I want to be able to rip it out and make sure it comes clean so it looks natural and the fish will munch it. So that last spot that we went to wasn't in the current. It was out more on the main lake on Poigan, and the wind was blowing right into it. It was a stretch of grass and a seawall, and there was a break in the grass right next to the seawall. And that's when I picked up the jackhammer chatterbait 1/2 ounce, and I grabbed a 4-inch Gambler flapping shad in white as my trailer. Probably one of my favorite trailers for a chatterbait. What I do is I take this little paddle tail here and I cut it right in half so it gives it a little bit more action, looks real natural, and those fish were just loving it. It's November now, it's a couple months after that event, and yeah, I mean, it just wasn't the day that we wanted, but it was a good time for them fish. Practice was tough. As you saw in the other videos, I really didn't have a lot of success trying to catch bass out on the main lake like I really wanted to. I know those smallmouth get grouped up in certain spots, and my buddy Doug actually found them. Doug and Shannon did pretty good. They took 2nd place in that event, chasing smallmouth out on the main lake, so kudos to those guys. We just stuck to the main river, or to the river, because the water was clear, and it just seemed like when you got on one spot that just held them, they were stacked. So we thought we'd be able to do the same thing. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, it was a great season. Wrapping up, the boat was winterized last week. I mean, we've had ice up here already, and I've been out chasing ducks for the past couple weeks, trying to find them now because everything's been iced up. A lot of our water's frozen. Got some sponsors I'd like to thank. Mercury Marine, as always. Bass Cat Boats. This is my first year in a Bass Cat. Not my first ride in a Bass Cat, but my first year in one, and it is an incredible ride. I have the Era, and that boat takes off like a sports car. It handles like a dream. I can't say enough good things about that boat. So if you haven't checked out any of their stuff yet, go down to your local Bass Cat dealer and take a look. You will be impressed. They are works of art. They are incredible. Quantum Tackle. I've been using their stuff since, Zebco Quantum. I've been using a Zebco 33 all my life, and now I've just obviously using Quantum stuff. It's great gear. I've never found smoother reels. I mean, you can cast them out. It's awesome stuff. Power pole. I mean, what else do you want? Swift, silent, secure. That's all you need right there. Cedar Lake Sales. They've helped me out a bunch this year. A bunch of great people down there in West Bend. So if you need any service done to your outboards or boats, or you're looking to get into a Bass Cat, head down to Cedar Lake Sales. They'll hook you up. Fremont Bait and Tackle and Execution Lures. My buddy Chris Wenzel owns this shop up in Fremont, Wisconsin. It doesn't matter what you're trying to catch. He's got everything for everybody, and it don't matter if it's open water or if it's ice. He's got it all. And last but not least, Gambler Lures. I mean, I've been with Gambler for a couple years now. I can't say enough about their soft plastics. I love all of their stuff, from the flap and shed. My favorite bait's probably still the ugly otter. You can fish that thing anywhere and you'll just catch them. It doesn't matter what it is, what they make. It's so many colors, varieties, shapes, sizes, any sort of preference that you have when it comes to soft plastics, they've got something for you. But I'm definitely looking forward to 2020. That's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be an amazing year. I got a lot of family and friends to thank. They put up with my crazy schedule, just traveling all the time and fishing all the time all summer, basically when the water's open to when it freezes completely shut. I am gone, I am on the water, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll be doing a couple more videos down here in the shop in my little tackle cave that I got. Like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if there's any certain videos that you'd like me to make. Any topics or anything like that. If you're interested in a certain technique or anything like that, I'll give you my input. So stay tuned for more videos. You guys have a great day. Peace.